from the dust. Deliver your people, in God we trust. The cries of the broken pierce the sky when heroes rise and martyrs die. Oh, judges of the night, stand and reclaim the fight. The earth shakes beneath your hand to cleanse and free this fractured land. Deborah's wisdom, a mother's might. Barak follows to the battle's height. Gideon's trumpet breaks the chains of fear, yet doubt lingers, always near. Almighty warriors, rise from the dust. Deliver your people, in God we trust. The cries of the broken pierce the sky when heroes rise and martyrs die. Oh, judges of the night, stand and reclaim the fight. The earth shakes beneath your hand to cleanse and free this fractured land. Death is strength, Delilah's deceit. The fall of the mighty brings defeat. But even in ruins, a light still burns. For every prodigal, the Lord returns. Oh, judges of the night, stand and reclaim the fight. The earth shakes beneath your hand to cleanse and free this fractured land. Oh, judges of the night, stand and reclaim the fight. The earth shakes beneath your hand to cleanse and free this fractured land. From Othniel to the twilight's call, the cry of the judges echoes through all. Bound by faith, yet torn by sin, the endless war rages deep within.
Good evening. I don't have a whole ton of stuff for you tonight. I'm extremely frustrated at what I'm seeing unfold in California. And I know that I've got live now from Fox. It's what you see up there. I've been watching that a good part of the day. And the only thing I can say is if heads don't roll at some point for the absolute mismanagement, there's tons of conspiracy theories going around. I'm sure there's people talking about directed energy weapons and all kinds of crazy Looney Tunes crap. I don't think that's the case. So, from my understanding, the insurance companies indeed canceled a lot of these individuals' fire insurance right before this happened. And I know you can put a lot into that, or you can just put common sense into it. These insurance companies, either they have somebody who works for them directly, or they hire companies to do this. They do everything they can to predict stuff like this. And if they see a certain trend going on, then they follow that trend, they take a good look at that trend, and they adjust their insurance packages accordingly. Now, I don't think that's how things should be done, but I also don't think that the forest management, or lack of forest management that California's been doing, I don't think that's right either. I think as far as the insurance thing, that's what it boils down to. It was a calculated risk. They were informed of the calculated risk, and so they changed their packages or their coverage in a way that they weren't going to take such a fall. Do I think that they were in cahoots with others and all of this? It's possible, but I'm not going to just go diving down rabbit holes because I got nothing better to do with my time. I think if there's anything stinky here, aside from obviously the smoke and the absolute horror that some of these people are going through, I know what it's like to lose everything. I was listening to a lady, they were interviewing her and her husband earlier, and they stayed at their home, and it was, at that time, it was still okay. But they had rebuilt already once from a fire prior to this. I forget what year they said. And the lady said flat out, you lose everything. You don't have anything. You know, you lose that stuff from your grandparents. You lose that stuff that's been handed down. You lose everything. And I didn't go through a fire, but I experienced the very same damn thing. And let me tell you what. There is never a more empty feeling than when you lose everything. Your children, every one of your possessions. It will totally put you in a spin. It's just, you know, I don't know how, I can't say I'm recovered completely from it. As far as mentally, emotionally, I guarantee I'm not. So I know what a lot of these individuals are going through. And if there's any people that I'm really suspicious of in all of this, it's going to be the individuals that go in and try to buy this land up for pennies on the dollar so that they can make a fortune. Because now, with all these people that are newly uninsured when this happened, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in a position to where they're going to have to take what they can get and go somewhere else. I'm not so sure that isn't the idea to begin with. But again, I don't want to dive down too many damn rabbit holes because, again, I've got more important things to do with my time than make shit up. But I think it's important to focus on what we do know. One thing we do know is why and how a tragedy like this happens. We have that answer. We've got that answer right now. It is because there was a lack of management of the wooded areas there. You have to rake out the floors of those forests. We'll call them forests. You have to rake them. You have to clear them. You have to get the dead out of there, meaning the dead trees and whatnot. You've got to get that all out of there. You've got to have controlled burns. You have to do things proactively to prevent fires like this from being able to get such a hold on such a large area of land. And the way that's done is by clearing out the brush, clearing out all the dead, making sure that you've got things as cleaned up as far as the floor of the forest that you can. Have controlled burns, and have fire breaks. Have areas in where they can literally set up a front so that they can battle a fire and try to keep it on the opposite side of that line. They have none of this. None of this. And that's why the Eaton fire still, till this moment, remains 0% controlled. Because they have none of this. Not even the littlest bit. They, Fire Marshal Bill, they clean the forest in all kinds of states throughout the United States, not California. Because in California, you've got some of these supposed green freaks that have no idea what the hell they're talking about, don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, but they want to make all these important decisions based on some damn snail or some damn insect. They're a bunch of ree-rees is what they are. And if they would talk to anybody else that, I don't know, maybe have lived a little bit of life, they would know things. If you want to know how to keep a forest or wooded area in pristine shape and how to make sure that nothing, whether it be fire or just overgrowth, gets out of control, you go talk to lumberjacks. You go talk to people that cut down trees for a living. The reason why is because that is their income. They have to make sure that the areas that they're cutting wood out of stay as, unburnt char. And so they take care of these things. They go in, they clear the brush out. They have controlled burns. They put in fire lanes. I think it's fire something, fire break, fire lane. They make sure that they have the ability to be able to take on a situation like this. There's only a handful of areas that are completely stupid, and most of them are under the management of the BLM. But they're not the only ones. Look, let's just not put the lipstick on the pig to begin with. In Los Angeles and the surrounding areas, they're doing everything they can to have the, sparkliest fairy queer or whatever leading the show. Has nothing to do with their qualifications, their background, their understanding of what the hell it is they're in control of. No, because they're a sparkly fairy, that means they're number one on the job list. And again, I'm not even going to pretend that there's any lipstick on this pig. Let's stop that. That's what got us to this point. Tolerance. Tolerance is what got us to this point. It's time we just call the stuff out and say, look, if you can't do the job, it doesn't matter how much of a fucking fruitcake you claim to be. You don't get a free pass. It's never been that way before. And in fact, most of these people would fail for these positions just from a psychology exam. That's disturbing. So that's a separate issue that I see going on there in sparkly frou-frou LA. It's frustrating. Because as I heard another gentleman speaking today, everybody that lives in these areas aren't just loaded rich with money. It's not all entertainers, and there's a lot of regular folk, too, that live in these areas. And, of course, it's everything they can muster to afford to live in those areas. However, they don't have any options. It's not like there's some big superstar or anything like that. That's just a handful of people, most of which don't even live there. It's truly saddening. It really is, and it's, again, 100% preventable. You're always going to have things pop up. You're going to have wildfires. You're going to have stuff like that. That's inevitable. But if you do the proper things, go about it using the proper methods, we've shown for a long, long time that we can manage our forests and we can keep this to a minimum. But you got to get the idiots out of the way, because they're too busy trying to save a snail while they're wiping out several other kinds of species and entire swaths of land and not really doing anything to help the damn snail anyway. like saying the Humane Society is pro-pet. You know how they conduct business and everything they do. They're about as anti-pet as I could imagine an organization to be. Rake in that money, though. Anyway, like I said, I don't have a whole lot tonight. I just wanted to talk about that. There was another area that had lit on fire. And I'm not in control of that big-ass map up there. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming that it's going to be right above that LAC 010801. I'm thinking that's it because I've seen the others. Now, I know a guy. Okay, they're showing the Eaton fire. If they zoom back out, I'll point. I know a guy that lives in this area. So far, I saw this morning he marked safe. And I'll give you a rough idea of where he's at. So, he's like right in here. So, they're showing the Hearst fire. Probably the next one they show, I'll probably be able to give you a better idea. Yeah, so he's... quit it. He's like right up in here. So you got Sunset here. He's like right up here. So he's on the other side of that mountain range. So far, as far as I know, he's okay. I hope and pray that it remains that way. I don't know if they'll back out of it a little bit. Come on, just a couple more scrolls. And then don't whip it around. Come on, couple more scrolls. You can do it. I don't think they can hear me. Oh, man. Yeah, like right up in here. Yeah, he lives like right up in that area. So, he's not by any of the fires at this particular time. Woodley would probably be the closest to him. Well, probably Sunset's the closest as the crow flies. But I don't know if he's got much concern with that Sunset fire. I would think he would have more concern with that other one. Fires don't go downhill too well. So anyway... Fire Marshal Bill. I'm not going to repeat that, though. Although it's probably true way more than once. And I heard a couple of them couldn't find their gerbils, but then they remembered where they were. It's all good. Well, not for the gerbils, but... Anywho. Okay, Lydia fire. This is another one, apparently. So there's little ones starting up in several different places. Now, I've heard people talking about homeless lighting fires and all of that. I don't know about that. I won't rule it out at the same time as I won't, oh, that's got to be it. I don't know. My advice is don't live in LA, yo. That's my first advice. But, you have to be, cognizant of this stuff, even like where you live. Now, we live in the middle of town. There's not a whole lot we can do. Could Highland be taken out by a big fire? Well, if we had winds whip up like that, and a good-sized fire started, if it started just at the right place, with the winds in the right direction, yeah, because we got a hell of a lot of trees here. And I mean a lot of trees here. Hang on, I'll show you. I didn't change this because didn't think I was going to need to. So, gonna try to zoom in enough so you can see. There's like a shit ton of trees. Highland is officially one of the cities that's in Tree City, USA, whatever the hell that nonsense is. But Highland's very proud of their membership in Tree City, USA. And, you know, they've actually got some pretty crazy ordinances involving the trees here. They take care of, let's zoom in somewhere here. Like, say these trees right here. Here's 5th Street. You've got these trees right here, right along 5th Street. Highland will take care of those trees. They'll trim them when they need trimmed. They'll obviously keep them away from power lines and stuff like that. They will take care of those trees. As a matter of fact, if one of those trees would happen to fall on your property, Highland would take care of that. Because they, you know, it's kind of a, I guess can't say unwritten rule, but it's kind of a rule that they're the ones that deal with the trees that are within, I guess, so many feet or whatever of the roadway. So, and like I say, we've got, this town is just nothing but trees all throughout town. So yeah, if the right spot in town ignited, the wind was blowing hard enough in the right direction, you better believe it, we would be in some trouble. We would be in some trouble. But, you know, what do you do in that case? Well, grab your bug out bags and, I mean, that's all you can do. Really don't have any options to do anything else. I don't believe Highland will see something like that. I think the chances of it are very slim. But other places, not so much. And if you happen to live in an area where it is more likely, then you might want to look at what you can do to prevent a fire from being able to come onto your property, or at least making it to the most important parts of your property. That may mean taking down some trees, making sure brush is cleared. That may be putting in a fire break yourself. Now make sure everything that you do, you look into, and don't just go hog wild, because obviously there's all kinds of stupid rules and nonsense everywhere. But, like, I certainly can't go out there and just start chopping trees down. Even if I own the property, I can't do that. Long as they're so many feet away from the street, I can do whatever the hell I want. But if they're within so many feet of the street, I'm pretty sure you got to go through the city first. Pretty sure. Not positive on that. I'm pretty sure, because I think the city's got like an easement for so many feet or what have you, and it's considered their trees. Which is good if one of the damn things fall on your house. I know that I've got pictures of it somewhere. Like the year or the year after we moved in here into this place, there was a big ass tree back over behind me that fell, and I got pictures and stuff of it. And it was close enough to the street that was on the city. They took care of the cleanup. They took care of the repair costs for both. There's 3 houses on one property here. And one of the houses got damaged by the tree. The city took care of that particular house, the damages, as well as took care of the people that lived next door to them, because their house was damaged as well. So, yeah, kind of a... the one that, I don't know, a year or so ago, we had a big limb break off and put a small hole in our roof, just on the edge of it. And he had that tree trimmed, the landlord, but I think that tree's far enough away from the roadway that that's his puppy. So it's a scary looking tree too. That damn thing's huge, and it's got one big ass branch that hangs right over top of the house. Oh man. And believe me, I think about it every damn severe thunderstorm that rolls through or anything like that. I'm like, sucks. And it blocks a hell of a lot of sun from getting to your solar panels. It needs to die. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm sure it keeps the sun off this house plenty to help keep it cool in the summer. Without that tree, I bet it would cost quite a bit more to keep this place cool. And anyway, don't really have anything else. I just kind of wanted to bitch and moan about what's going on there in LA. It's insane. It's uncalled for. And heads need to roll. They need to get rid of people that just don't have any common sense. What do you do in a nation like this? When all of the control, and I like it like this, believe me, I like it like this. When all the control technically resides with the county, and as long as the county doesn't violate your constitutional rights, then the state or the federal agencies have no business with it. That's the way that it's set up to be. That's the way that it should be. And it goes to state from there. As long as the state isn't violating your constitutional rights, then, they can feel free to run things how they see fit. Federal government, they're only supposed to do two things. Secure the borders, that's not a joke, and make sure that the states and the counties aren't infringing upon your constitutional rights. That's the only two damn jobs that the federal government actually has. Keep us from getting invaded, and make sure that the state and county aren't screwing with you unconstitutionally. I would say we're a far cry from that. But since we've got out of control governments across the board, there has to be something done to force these idiots that don't know how to properly manage this land, force them out. Put people in there that know how to do it right, and you wouldn't have all of this. And this ain't the first time. It won't be the last time. It's absolutely mind-blowing, the rules that pencil necks put on a piece of paper. And they have not one day in the field. Not supposed to work like that. You'll get nothing but disaster if you try to make it. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to relax tonight. Feeling a little rough today. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll close up this week. So, hope you all have a good evening. As always, shalom.